Alright, so you just finished my last guide on how to progress early game, and now you've gotten to this point and you're wondering what are the next steps. Now I'm going to assume that on the hero test, you've gotten to at least around 500k XP, which if I'm not mistaken is going to put you around worlds 17 to 18, I think, somewhere around there. But before we get over there, let's start off by going through each world and explaining what is important there and what isn't. So in world 14, which is the one after the previous one, the one that you had ended off in the last video, there are the grimoires over here. Now again, this is going to be costing 10 coins. Once again, this is why I said getting coins, saving them up is super important. And these grimoires are going to be multiplying your energy. For example, right now I have the purple ray, which is nowhere near the best one. The best one's like 4.5x, I believe, something like that. I'll probably have a screenshot somewhere up here. Have a look and see which one you want to try and get or what you're going to settle on. Now, if you are wondering what's the best way to get coins, I would probably have uploaded another guide by now on the best way to farm them. I'll probably have it linked in the description or something, so have a look down there, or just like go to my channel, scroll back like a video or two, it should be there. But yeah, the grimoires are going to be super helpful, and if you have Robux to spare, you can get a Robux one. Don't worry, you can have both of them at the same time. So if you, let's say, get the best one over here and you want to spend some Robux, you're not going to lose it. But then over here, we have upgrades for machine, which again, just max it out, focus on maxing it out is going to be super helpful. And I honestly don't see why not. Now again, if you're, let's say, grinding out this world, continue the strategy that I mentioned in last video. Just focus on the main quest line. When you can, make sure that you upgrade your ranks, your swords. If you need energy, AFK in the hollow dimension. But again, I highly recommend doing this one, the hero test, instead. Now in the virtual temple, there are a few things that are kind of important, I guess. Number one, there's the passive vault. So obviously, if you have a good passive and you want to try rolling for a better one, you can just save it and literally that's it. Go and roll another one. But over here is where things get a little bit nice. So over here, as you can see, there are the daily quests and they're going to be giving a bunch of coins. If I were you, just claim literally all of them, because it's like, why not just have them on at all times, just in case you end up completing them, you know, passively whilst you're doing the battle pass, for example. Now these daily quests are definitely going to be really helpful in upgrading, you know, everything that requires coins to upgrade, so make sure you focus on those. But moving on to the cursed hill, it's time to move on to the curses. But before we head over to the curses, on your left you're going to see that there's going to be another upgrades NPC, and again, focus on maxing him out because he's going to be really helpful in the long run. For example, right now I literally have plus practically 500% energy, plus 500% damage, plus 200% souls. So yeah, once again, I always mention this every time we go up to an upgrades machine. Max it out. Now the curses. Well, as you can see at the moment, I have the 0.1% 6 size. It gives 5x damage. And before you immediately assume that you should immediately start aiming for this, don't, because 0.1% is really rare. Instead, I would rather you guys aim for this one, the cursed finger, because it still gives like 3x damage. So obviously it's not a huge difference, but anything above that, unless you literally only have like 2 cursed like rolls, just focus on trying to get this one, the cursed finger. Obviously, if you end up getting 6 size, then obviously that's a plus, that's a bonus, whatever you want to call it. But as a minimum, aim for the cursed finger. Then eventually, in your own time, you can upgrade to 6 size. And I'd recommend you try doing that once you have around 1k of those cursed rolls. But yeah, now we move on to the Revenger School. And there's only, again, one thing which is really important in this world. And that's going to be over here. I'm sure you guessed what it's going to be, the upgrades machine. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this is actually the final one in the game at the moment, so make sure obviously that you max it out so then you can kind of benefit from the maximum boost that you can get, and obviously focus on just like working on this world and whatnot. And I'm going to mention once again, make sure you AFK on the hero test. It is going to be super helpful. But yeah, next world, world 18, is actually going to be Alchemy land. And over here, there are 2 things. Number one, we have Alchemy over here, which is again another coins NPC where you can just roll and get like a soul multiplier in this case. At the moment, I have full metal because obviously 30 coins each spin is really expensive. So in my opinion, try aiming for life at the minimum, or full metal of course, because at the cost of 30 coins, you shouldn't risk losing something as good as these. I just think that in my opinion, it's better to play it safe, especially when the coin like cost is so high. But yeah, over here we have the curse vault where you can save your curses. For example, this is exactly what I did. I got the cursed finger, then I saved it, then I tried aiming for something better. So if you want to try getting the 6 size that I have at the moment, probably wait until you unlock this world so you have that vault. Now heading over to the Burning City, there's only one thing that you need to focus on over here, and that's going to be your fire level. Now being brutally honest, I haven't paid much attention to this even though I should. Obviously this gives an energy multiplier, and I have zero clue why I haven't tried getting, you know, at least a Gen 2 or something. I guess either I never had the coins or I just forgot about it. So don't make the same mistake as me. If I were you, try aiming for a Gen 2 at least, but it might be a little bit difficult since, you know, 20 coins per spin. If you can't get Gen 2, at least get Gen 1. Definitely do not stay on Infernal, because if I'm not mistaken, it's only like a 1.1x, and that's literally nothing. Also, by the way, just to mention now, you should be completely focusing only on the mythics, because the legendaries are absolutely useless at this point. Or if you want to get the legendaries, just make sure that you turn them into elite and then supreme, because I think that's the only point in which they actually are good. Also, make sure that you start working on your achievements. For example, maybe try finding someone who can carry you in the easy and medium trials. And if you can't find someone to carry you, just keep on going into, you know, the trials, and eventually you should find a server where someone needs to do them. Maybe they are grinding souls or whatever, so just check and see if someone else who's really powerful is doing a trial, and then just, you know, get a free carry from them. Because you can get equips and opens, and that just makes, you know, you can get up to 26 or probably more, since I'm missing a few of the achievements, such as these over here, reaching room 50 and every single extreme one. And regarding opens, I'm still missing ones which involve meteors. Now after the Burning City, there's the Psycho Town. Now keep in mind, if you have been AFKing on the hero test, I highly suggest checking to see if you can unlock this world, because the sooner you do it, the better. The reason is because there's a psychic potential over here, and this is based on the number of swings you have. So for example, I'll level up after reaching 50,000 swings. And obviously, the sooner you unlock this, the quicker you start it. And as you can see, I have a 3.7x energy multiplier, which obviously is very, very good. And that's where you're not missing out on anything, and you have the maximum potential. And this is kind of the world where, you know, things begin to stack up. For example, this Sakurai 5 ND, then the next one's 100 ND, and then the next one's like 5V or something. Yeah, that's 39V. This is 2V, and then the boss is like 500V. So yeah, the enemies really, they scale up by a bunch, not just from each world, but like from literally each enemy. So again, I'm going to mention this for the final time. Make sure you focus a bunch on the hero test. Anyways, the next area is going to be the Ghoul City, where you're going to be finding the Kagunes. Now what these do, they basically activate every once in a while after, like, let's say 200 swings as an example. And depending which one you have, they give a multiplier. For example, right now I have the green kakuja, which is currently the best one in the game, and it lasts around 27.5 seconds and does like a 25x damage boost, I think. So yeah, it's really, really good. And obviously, let's say I am AFKing on this boss over here, and I'm not really doing that much damage. So what the Kagunes will do is, just once it's activated, it will multiply your damage. It's kind of like a potion, but much more OP. And then obviously you might be able to one-hit him when it's activated. You might be able to at least see the red bar, you know, like a red tint over here, like it's actually moving down his health. And then obviously with the Kagune mixed with the ultimate attack, you're gonna one-hit him probably, or like do loads of damage. But yeah, on to the dead area is where you're going to be able to find the secondary swords. Now keep in mind, in order to unlock this, you need to complete quite a few number of quests, and they aren't exactly the easiest. For example, right now, don't make the same mistake I did. This one has been completed for quite a while now, and I haven't, you know, actually accepted it. Usually the quests are like defeating bosses or meteors and whatnot. Again, it isn't difficult, it's just time consuming. And then there's a few where it's like, get 150 mythicals from this world, get 130 mythicals from that world. So make sure that you're always aware that you're doing these, accepting them as soon as possible and whatnot. And keep in mind, these secondary swords use Sand Rooms, which can be acquired from the defense mode too. And in case you forgot where that is, it's in the XYZ province. If you're at this world, I think you should be able to get to like wave 100 or so, maybe something like that, or at least 90, 80, somewhere there, and that should still give you quite a lot of runes. But after the dead area, we move on to the Coliseum. The Coliseum, the only thing that's really important here is just this, the Kagune Vault. It just kind of gives you a safe way to kind of try aiming for a better Kagune. You know, let's say you have the Kakuja. It's like not the best one, but isn't anywhere near the worst one. Then you can save it, and then you can aim for a better one. But yeah, nothing much to check out in the Coliseum. So heading over to the duelist kingdom, we are going to find duel cards. Now currently I don't have the best one because I kind of like when I am online it never comes into and it's in stock. Yeah, so I have terrible luck. There's only 15 minutes left. I'm not even gonna bother trying because I can't even remember where the duel cards vault is, if there even is one. So I guess I'm just gonna have to wait until it comes back into stock again. But unfortunate, don't make the same mistake I just did. Always check every single hour to see if it's in stock. But yeah, this is the best one. The second best one is the Meteor, the one that I have on right now. And if I'm not mistaken, the difference is like this one's 4.5x energy and this one's 5x energy. Something like that at least. And once you get it, there'll be like a little ring around you. Let me actually show you guys quickly. Hide my cards, and then yeah, it kind of pops up on the bottom. So I guess I'll leave it on for the rest of the video just so then you can see. Now currently in the solo city, there isn't anything that you really need to focus on because there's literally like no special NPCs or whatever. So now that we are done with the world showcases, it's time to move on to what you should kind of be grinding on. In my opinion, what you should be doing the most is upgrading your classes and especially AFKing a bunch on this training area because you're just going to be getting times to energy and whatnot, and obviously that's going to be really good. And as well, you're probably going to need the power, especially if you're trying to complete the quests, because you need the XP, and then with the XP you can unlock bronze keys which are given lots of stuff, these packs, practically every single token or reroll or whatever that you can possibly get. And there's even accessories in this battle pass which as far as I was told, they're like the best in the game at the moment, or at least one of the best, where currently the best ones are like found in the extreme trials only. And I'm not sure about this hero. Maybe it is good, maybe it isn't, I'm not sure, but it is level 50, so that might be something which if you guys are starting now, you might, you know, not be able to reach it, which is why I highly recommend trying to at least get it. If you can't get it, then it's fine, just at least aim for the accessory. I kind of explained the best way to complete these quests in my early game guide, so go check that out. But just a quick summary of what I had said: play medium trial. What it means by that, just go in, beat room 1, and you can leave, it will count. And if you can't beat them, then find someone who can at least beat room 1. I'm sure no one is going to complain just for hopping in, defeating one room. Now once you reach where I am, around world 23, 24, maybe even 25, at this point what you should be aiming for is going back and trying to max out all of the upgrades. And not just the upgrades machine I'm meaning, for example, I'm saying the talents, the auras, the stuff in the burning city, I don't know what you call them again, the fire level, yeah. Then also the stuff in alchemy, try maxing out your curses to the best that you can get. I'm assuming that by now the hero test is completely maxed out. It should be, or else I have zero clue how you got here. Now the final tip that I can really give is to focus a bunch of your time on defense modes, because you're going to be needing a ton of the pink runes in order to upgrade your auras. In fact, if we head over to the slime forest right now, let me just show you guys how expensive it can get. Yeah, here 142 per upgrade, which is absolutely insane. And these auras are going to come in really handy, so you make sure that you always have max pink runes as soon as possible. Also, another thing you can do, apart from like AFKing on like the strongest guys that you can face, is go to like an early area. For example, let's say probably not the Pieki village unless you have a, you know, obviously a private server, because you don't want people to kind of be killing your enemies. But let's say go to a high level, let's say you're at world 25, go to the ghoul city for example, and then go to like someone in the corner, for example this guy, and then you want to AFK here, because any enemy except the guys in defense mode have a chance of dropping spins, and these spins can give you a ton of stuff, you know, 135 curse tokens, a bunch of coins, a mount, an OP hero, which as far as I know is really good. And let's say you don't need curse tokens or skill spins, you can literally just exchange them for passive rows for example, or either way. Also always make sure that you have a bunch of potions. In fact, I'm going to put on a few more just to make sure that they're always running. And then obviously if you have a bunch of friends, and especially a private server, all of you AFK in the same server, because you do get a friends boost. And always make sure to take advantages of events or special rewards that the devs of anime servers give you. For example, heading back over to my inventory over here, these guys over here, the exclusive ones, you literally could get them just by logging in that day. And if you're at the beginning of the game, let's say world 1, this guy is like a world 11 secret worth. And let's say you just started the game. If you claimed him, this is like the strength of a world 11 secrets. Obviously, you can jump up the worlds really fast. And obviously, if you're at this point where you're like me and like their power is useless compared to a single mythical or shiny mythical or whatever, that soul boost will still come in really handy. Obviously, if you're focusing solely on grinding energy, then obviously don't use these, use the energy ones. But if you're kind of like doing a bit in the middle where like you need to defeat enemies to get their souls, but you also want to be grinding a ton of energy, then do what I did, you know, a mix of both. Overall, you want everything that you can possibly upgrade or get to be, if not the best, just before the best. Now, I believe I have mentioned absolutely everything. Obviously, I can't really say what is in the Egoist Field, the Saint Village, Land of Guts, Magic Town, Shield Village, but I can say, based on my Noob to Pro series, by the way, keep in mind, I am free to play, and especially what's being said every time I upload a video in the comments, I'm apparently making a ton of progress that you guys weren't able to kind of do yourself. So hopefully this video will kind of give you an insight to why I was progressing so fast as a free-to-play. And if you want, check out my Noob to Pro series. I kind of always explain what I did and then what I do on camera and whatnot. So you can consider that the longer version of this guide. In fact, the whole point of this guide was kind of to point out the important stuff in every single word and what you should focus on. In my opinion, the first thing that you should do with your coins is upgrade the upgrade machines, because those will always guarantee you some kind of upgrade. Wise, if you, let's say, want to upgrade your fire level in the Burning City, and then you, let's say, you have a Gen 2 and then you want to try aiming for a Gen 3 and then you only have 20 coins, so you do it and you get an Infernal. That's a loss. Whereas the upgrades, as I said, they always guarantee a positive. And again, once you're done with that, with the coins that you have, head over to the Titan District, go to the accessory merchant, I believe is called, and upgrade your accessory as much as possible. For example, right now my pink coat is at level 64 and it gives me these stats. You can quickly have a look. And I think with that being said, that wraps up practically everything that you kind of need in order to progress. As I said, once you are at this point of the game, there isn't really much left to do except to try and get the best of everything. For example, right now I do have the best mythical in the game, but there is a better one, the question mark, which is like 2x better than this. And then obviously there's the protagonist passive, the like all cursed fingers one of the curses. And obviously the best way to get tokens would be the battle pass right now, because practically every single level gives you like 200 or 100 of something. Another way is the daily spin. As I said, you can get cursed tokens or skill spins and then you can just exchange them into the other. But yeah, I think this is where I'm going to be leaving off today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to say right now that this guide might not exactly be perfect, because keep in mind, this is kind of my first playthrough through Anime Souls, and basically I'm just repeating what I've learned along the way, and there's still a lot of stuff which I do not know, but obviously I'm learning along the way. And then at least you can use this guide as kind of a basis of what you should do, and then you can kind of figure out yourself what you want to aim for first. For example, I can't really tell you right now. For example, it's better to aim for that question mark skill or the protagonist passive. I guess you can try figuring it out yourself, you know, what you feel like would be better. You can join the Anime Souls Discord and have a look at that. But I at least hope that this guide did help you in some way. And if it did, why not drop a like and subscribe to show your support? We're on the way to 3K, so why not join in and, you know, kind of join in on the ride. But anyways, I'll see you all in the next one, and good luck with grinding. And obviously, if I learn a bunch of new important information, I'll make another updated guide of this. But until then, I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.